Good afternoon once again. Welcome back to Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. We're ready for Game 2 of a doubleheader between the University of St. Francis and St. Ambrose University. The Fighting Saints overcame a 9-2 deficit to win in walk-off fashion in Game 1. 10-9 was your final score. Now they try to make it 2 in a row. Terry Bonadonna with you on the call for this game as we take a look at the starting lineups. First for the visiting Bees. Leading things off is center fielder Jake Muha. Batting second baseman Noah McCreary. Brock Weber hits third and plays first base. Hitting cleanup, designated hitter Brandon Matias. Joey Fitzgerald hits fifth at third base. Batting sixth, right fielder Adrian Zatera. Bryce Vincent is at shortstop. Chris McFarland bats eighth and plays left. And hitting ninth, catcher Garrett Latos. That starting nine goes up against St. Francis pitcher Jacob Jerka, a sophomore right-hander from New Lenox, whose first pitch is over for a strike. And we're underway, 3:57 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Muha, who takes strike two. Muha hit leadoff in Game 1, went 0 for 4, but he did draw a walk and score one run. He swings on 0-2 and fouls it away. Count remains the same. 263 hitter on the season coming into play today. Jerka trying to keep the trend going of good pitching from St. Francis that ended Game 1 as he just misses the outside corner, ball one. Game 1 wasn't the prettiest affair you've ever seen. Through the first 5 innings, we had 16 combined walks and hit by pitches. Fouled off, still 1-2. And then the St. Francis bullpen came in and turned everything around. 2 scoreless innings. Got things started for Luke Gunther, and then a quick and easy 1-2-3 top half of the 7th worked by Ryan Daly as he came up with the victory. There's a bouncer to the right side. Tough play for Martinez. He's got to act quickly, and he makes it in time. Muha is retired 4-3 to begin today's ball game. Let's take a look at the numbers on Jacob Jerka, the starting pitcher for the Fighting Saints. Jerka's making his third start of the season. He's 0-1 with a 12.38 ERA. In 8 innings pitched entering play today, he had allowed 13 runs, 11 of them earned on 17 hits, with 5 strikeouts and 3 walks this year. He faces Noah McCreary with 1 out and nobody on. And McCreary takes ball 1 off of home plate. A really difficult start to conference play continued for St. Ambrose earlier this afternoon. McCreary takes the ball up and away, 2-0. No thanks to McCreary. He was excellent in the game, 2 for 4. With a triple, a homer, a walk, 3 runs scored. He's ahead in the count here, 3-0. The Fighting Bees have had late leads in all 3 of their CCAC games, and yet they sit at 0-3 entering this one. On the outside corner. Strike 1 on Noah McCreary. He was ready to toss his yellow bat aside, but he stands back in. Swings and knocks it into right field. He'd rather earn his way aboard. A solid single to right. And a 1-out base runner for the Bees. First hit of the ball game. We're playing 9 innings here in Game 2. Game 1 was a 7-inning contest, although it very nearly went more than that. The Saints scored the winning run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. So we were potentially 1 pitch away from extra innings. Didn't end up happening. There's a flare into left center field hit by Brock Weber, a base hit for him. McCreary heads to third base. Blytek bobbles it out in left center. The throw comes into second base. Not in time. McCreary goes all the way home and scores. How do you like that? A first inning run for St. Ambrose for the 2nd consecutive game. It'll be a hit and an error. It's our first error of action today. The first game didn't contain a single error on either team. For Weber, that will not be an RBI. It'll be a single. McCreary advanced to third on the base hit, but he scored on Blytek's error, which is the same reason that Brock Weber stands at second base right now. Here's Brandon Matias taking ball one. Back-to-back hits following the leadoff ground out. Put Jerka in some trouble here in the top of the first inning. The 1-0 pitch is poked down the right field line. That's fair, it's trouble, and it is fair. Just inside the line, it rolls into the corner. Extra bases for Matias. Brock Weber scores. Matias hustling to third base. He makes it in without a play. 3 straight hits, 2 runs on the board for St. Ambrose. Brandon Matias has his 3rd hit of the doubleheader. And he's got his first triple of the season. The start of play today, St. Ambrose didn't have a single triple all year. They've hit 2 of them today. One for McCreary in game 1, and now Matias has one here in game 2. Fitzgerald takes ball 1 outside. For Brandon Matias, that is an RBI. And it's his team leading 15th this year. There's a high fly into shallow left field. Blytech loses his cap as he comes on and can't make the catch. Fitzgerald heads to second base on a pop-up double. Matias scores. It's 3-0. I think Cliff Vickers never saw that ball. Blytech was racing in from left, and he came within a few feet of making the catch. But as he drifted further and further in, the wind howling right now, straight across the field from left to right. That ball carried further and further away from Blytech, making it a very difficult catch. And it probably would have been an easier play for Vickers if he had seen it cleanly, but he didn't. He never really made a run for it. And it's a double for Fitzgerald as Adrian Zatera takes ball 1. Zatera had a big game 1. 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Grounder to third. Cleaned up by Drew Dant. The throw to first is in time. 2 down. Fitzgerald stays put. I should mention, actually, Zatera had a triple in game 1. I said just a few moments ago that McCreary had the only triple of the season for St. Ambrose. Zatera had one as well, so they've actually hit 3 triples in today's doubleheader after not hitting a single one through the first 14 games of the year. Here's Bryce Vincent. He had an RBI in the first one. Takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0. Fitzgerald's RBI was his 9th this year. Already his 5th double in just 10 games played. Jerka misses downstairs again, 2-0. Still just the top of the first inning. Already it's a 3-0 lead for St. Ambrose. That's nothing for St. Francis. They overcame a 7-run deficit in game 1 this afternoon. Ground ball left side. This should get him out of the inning. Gloved cleanly by Ethan Fleming, who throws to first, and the inning is over. 3 runs on 4 hits. A man left on base. We'll go to the bottom of the first inning. 3-0 St. Ambrose. Bottom of the first inning, St. Francis coming up for the first time today, trailing by 3 runs. Here's their lineup. Leading off is second baseman Alex Martinez. Cliff Vickers hits second, playing center. Batting third, first baseman Nate Maliska. Jake Klepash hits cleanup in right field. Drew Dant is at third base. Batting sixth, catcher Jake Murda. John McGuire is the designated hitter. Ethan Fleming gets the start at shortstop, hitting eighth. And batting ninth, left fielder Brent Blytek. The man they'll be charged with hitting today is right-hander Frank Quinn. 6 foot 7 inch tall senior from the south side of Chicago. Quinn is starting his 4th game of the year. He's 1-1 with a 5.14 ERA. In 14 innings pitched, he's allowed 9 runs, 8 of them earned on 18 hits. He's got 8 strikeouts, 6 walks. Opponents have hit .333 against Quinn so far this season. His first pitch of the ball game is taken inside for ball 1 on Alex Martinez. Martinez went 0 for 2 in game 1, but he walked twice, scored once. Walks were the story of the opening game. So far, hits have been the story of game 2. St. Ambrose had 4 of them, 2 singles, a double, and a triple in the top half of the first. It's 2-0 on Martinez, the 5th-year senior. He drives this ball out to deep left field, but he pulled it foul, and it's out of play. 2-1. St. Francis 2-1 to start conference play after they went just 2-9 in their non-conference games. Strike over the inside corner, 2-2. So a good start to CCAC action. Again, 2 games this weekend were called off due to the weather out west. There's a high bouncer left side. No play for anybody. Joey Fitzgerald came charging in for it, but no chance to get Martinez at first, so we'll call it an infield single for the leadoff batter for the Fighting Saints. I think that ball hit off of home plate. It bounced so high that nobody could have made the play. The ball was maybe most playable by the pitcher. It was a little bit to the third base side of the mound, but right next to the mound where it ultimately landed on that high hop. Quinn's first toss to Vickers is bunted third base side. Picked up by the catcher. The throw to first is in time. It's a successful sacrifice for Cliff Vickers. 2-3. And Alex Martinez is in scoring position. We'll bring up Nate Maliska. Again, back to that Martinez play. Even if Quinn had made the play, again, he was a little bit closer to it than third baseman Fitzgerald, I don't think there would have been a throw to first. He never saw it. The ball bounced so high it kind of worked like a pop-up, and he didn't see it in the sun. He was shielding himself from the ball. Fitzgerald came charging in, played it on the high hop, and there just wasn't enough time after that. Fouled back by Nate Maliska for strike 1. So not a particularly hard hit from St. Francis, but it is their first hit of the game, an infield single for Alex Martinez, who now stands at second following the sacrifice bunt. The 0-1. Ball low. 1-1 the count. Nate Maliska, game 1 today, went 2 for 3 with a walk. Single, doubled, scored twice, drove in a run. Big game for Maliska, who was a big part of that 2-run 7th inning rally that allowed the Saints to win. Maliska takes a strike here, 1-2. He hit a leadoff double in that bottom of the 7th, with the Saints trailing 9-8. His run ultimately was the tying score, and then they got another run later in the inning. Maliska launches this into right center field. It drops in front of Jake Muha. Alex Martinez will score with ease. It's an RBI single for Nate Maliska. And the score is 3-1. Both teams off to hot offensive starts today. So we've got 4 runs combined on the board in the first inning. Maliska picks up his second RBI of the day. It's his 7th this year. Brings up Jake Klepash. Klepash takes ball 1. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run in game 1. Klepash came in hitting .346 for the season. Ball in the dirt, 2-0. Six combined hits already in this game. We saw a small village worth of base runners in game 1. For most of the game, though, St. Francis didn't hit much. They scored their first 8 runs on only 5 hits as Klepash strokes it up the middle on the ground and through. A base hit for him. Maliska advances to second. Back-to-back one-out singles. They're at first and second with only 1 out for Drew Dant. Already the 3rd hit of the game for St. Francis. Dant had a huge game 1. 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. He tripled and homered. Ball 1 inside. He became the first Saints to crash the double-digit marker in runs batted in. He's up to 11 for the season in 14 games played. The 1-0. High fly into center field. Muha started back. Now he comes in and he can't get to it. That slight misjudgment at the beginning of the play cost him the catch. And it's the 3rd consecutive hit for the Saints. Maliska advances to 3rd. Klepash to 2nd. Dant is at first base with his 4th hit of the doubleheader. And Jake Murda hits with the bases loaded. 4 singles in the inning for the Saints. Not yet through the first. We've already seen 8 total hits in this game. Well, entering play today, a look at the numbers would indicate that pitching is probably not the greatest strength of either one of these teams. Ball 1 in the dirt on Jake Murda, 1-0. Saints came in with a team ERA of 11.64. For the Bees, it was 7.36. So both teams are trying to work the kinks out of the pitching staff. But it's played out exactly that way. There has been a ton of offense in today's doubleheader. We're only in the 8th inning of the 2 games. Ball low, 2-1 on Jake Murda, who's getting his first at bat of the day. Dan Gusel started behind the plate in game 1. Murda's making his 6th start of the year. He's a .250 hitter, 4 for 16 with 3 RBIs. Maliska's at 3rd, Klepash is at 2nd, Dant is at 1st. The 2-0 pitch. Murda hits a bouncer up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher. It's backhanded by the second baseman McCreary, who steps on the bag, throws to 1st, and gets the double play. What a play by McCreary to get out of a huge jam with the bases loaded and 1 out. The Saints are not able to add any runs. So St. Ambrose gets out of the first with the lead. An action-packed first inning. 3-1 the Fighting Bees on top as we head to the second. Top of the second, I feel like we've seen a game's worth of action in just one inning. It's hard to believe it's only the second right now. 3-1, St. Ambrose has the lead. 8 hits and an error in that first inning. 4 runs scored, 3 of them for the visitors. Jake Jerka goes back to work and fires strike one. Left fielder Chris McFarland getting his first at bat of the day. McFarland flips it into right field. That hangs in the air long enough for Jake Lepash to make the catch. 1 away. Good start to the inning for Jerka, who retires the leadoff man for the second consecutive inning. With Jacob Jerka getting the start here in game 2. Jake Lepash still in the lineup out in right field. Jake Murda is behind the plate. We've got 3 Jakes in the lineup. I think that's half of the Jakes that are actually on the roster. So Brian Mahalik, if he wanted to, really could have fun with the lineup. Ball 1 on Latos, who drills the next pitch out to deep left field, but foul. 1-1 the count. There's no Jacob Blim in the lineup today. Jake Wilk is not playing. Check swing. He didn't check it. Strike 2. It's 1-2. Maybe that's all of them. So you couldn't quite fill out a lineup with just Jacobs. Ball 2 on Latos, the catcher, starting his second straight game behind the plate. 1 for 3 with a walk and an RBI single in game 1. 0 for 1 with a strikeout here in game 2 as he flails at the 2-2 pitch and is the second out of the second inning. Four straight retired by Jerka after a shaky start to the game. And now he can make it a 1-2-3 inning if he retires Jake Muha. Muha swings the first pitch, grounds it right to first base. Easy play for Nate Maliska, who carries it to the bag and ends the second. 1-2-3 go the Fighting Bees. Their second time up. We'll go to the bottom of the frame. 3-1, St. Ambrose leads.
Leading off the St. Francis second inning, designated hitter number 11, John McGuire.
Bottom of the order due up for St. Francis in the second inning. McGuire, Fleming, and Blytak will face Frank Quinn, who had a shaky opening to this game, allowed 4 hits in the first inning, but got out of the frame with minimal damage being done thanks to a double play with the bases loaded. John McGuire takes ball 1. We're underway in the bottom half of the second. McGuire walked twice and had a sacrifice bunt in game 1, so his only official at bat was his last one. He takes ball 2. And that was an RBI double that ended the game. Broke a 9-9 tie. 1 hit for the Saints, 10-9. 2-0 pitch is foul tipped. Count moves to 2-1. Both teams had 4 hits in the first inning, but in the second, St. Ambrose was retired 1-2-3 on just 8 pitches. There's a high fly, shallow right field. Zatara comes in towards the line and makes the catch. McGuire is retired, 1 out. The batter is Ethan Fleming. Fleming came in as a pitcher in game 1. In fact, he's pitched several times this year. He leads the team with 6 appearances. He swings the first pitch and lifts it into right. Zatara started back, now comes in a step and makes the grab. 2 away. Zatara's got a couple of putouts this inning. That was Fleming's first at-bat of the season. Was building up to that. He cut my story short by swinging at the first pitch. Well, the point was he's primarily a pitcher, getting a rare start at shortstop in this game. He's now 0 for 1 with a flyout. And Brent Blytek is the batter. Fouled back on the first pitch, strike 1. Blytek is getting his first at-bat of the day, but he was very much involved in game 1. Came on as a pinch hitter and scored the tying run in the last inning. Starting this one in center field, or in left field rather, it's his first start of the season. He's usually used as a pinch runner. He shows bunt, whiffs at it, it's 0-2. Just his 4th at bat of the season, he's 0 for 3. In fact, he hasn't put a ball in play yet. All 3 at bats have been strikeouts. Freshman Blytek awaits the next offering and chops it to the right side of the infield. Weber, the first baseman, grabs it on the short hop and steps on the bag for the 3rd out. Blytek down on the ground beyond first base. Looked like he may have tweaked a muscle on his way running down the line. So we'll see if he remains in the game for the top of the 3rd. But for the moment, I'll step aside. It's the end of the 2nd inning. Both pitchers go 1-2-3 in the 2nd, and it's still 3-1 St. Ambrose. Three to 1 St. Ambrose after 2. We start the 3rd inning with Noah McCreary in the batter's box. St. Ambrose second baseman is 1 for 1 with a single and a run. He takes ball 1 from Jacob Jerka. As expected, Brent Blytek is not out in left field this inning. He started limping down the line trying to leg out an infield hit to end the 2nd inning as McCreary takes ball 2. The last couple of steps didn't look comfortable, and then he fell beyond the bag. So he was helped out to the dugout as that ball's popped into foul territory and it drops untouched. Jake Murda tried to make the play, couldn't come up with it, 2-1 the count. Meliska kind of stood back on that. I have to imagine that Murda was calling him off, but that's a play that probably would have been easier for the first baseman to make. It was well up the first base line by the time Murda whiffed on it. No error called, just a no play. 2-1 on McCreary. takes ball 3. So Blytech was helped off the field. It became pretty clear pretty quickly that he was not going to continue in the game. Tough break for him. Fly ball into right center field. That's deep, chasing it back to the warning track, and that ball's gone. Klepash and Vickers both had a beat on it. They converged out in right center, and they both ran out of room. McCreary goes deep to right center field and makes it a 4-1 St. Ambrose lead. Second home run of the day for McCreary, his 4th of the season.
First baseman, number 17, Brock Weber.
That snaps a string of 5 in a row set down by Jerka. Here's Brock Weber taking ball 1 high. The new left fielder for the Fighting Saints is Josh Kernbauer. I hadn't gotten around to saying that yet. Check swing on a ball outside. Nope, he went around according to the first base umpire on appeal. And the count is 1-1. Always a tough call as a first base umpire getting the appeal from a right-handed batter. He drives it out to deep right center field. Same part of the ballpark. This one even deeper than McCreary's. Brock Weber goes deep. Back-to-back homers to start the 3rd inning. St. Ambrose leads 5-1. That first home run hit by Noah McCreary should have been avoided. The previous pitch, remember, 2 pitches prior, was popped up down the first base line. Looked to be a playable ball, but nobody caught it in foul territory. So the at-bat continued. He homered, and Weber left no doubt about his. He destroyed that ball. Brandon Matias takes ball 1. 4-run lead now for St. Ambrose. Remember, they led by 7 in game 1. Weren't able to hold it. That's popped up right side, foul ground. Meliska gives way to the second baseman Martinez, who straddles the line and makes the catch. Falling backwards, 1 away. That actually was a fair ball. Martinez was standing right on top of the line as he made the catch. Never an easy play in those pop-ups down the line for a second baseman. But he kept his cool the whole way and is able to pull it in. 1 out. Here's Joey Fitzgerald. He swings the first pitch, fouls it off, strike 1. 1 out, nobody on, 2 runs already in this inning for St. Ambrose. Big swing and a miss. 0-2. Fitzgerald was the top hitter for the Fighting Bees on the season coming into play today. But he's had a rough go of it as he strikes out swinging. I was about to say he had a bad game 1, but he made up for it with a great start here in game 2, an RBI double in his first at bat. But he strikes out here, so he's got 3 strikeouts now on the day. And Adrian Zatera is the batter. Zatera takes ball 1. Zatera grounded out to third base in the first inning. He hits this one past third base, but in foul territory. The count is 1-1. Jerka trying to turn the inning around. You have a back-to-back homers to start it. But now he's 1 out away from getting 3 in a row since then. Matias harmlessly popped out. Fitzgerald struck out. 1-1-2. Zatera's in the dirt. 2-1. Righty to righty. Jerka pitches from the stretch and misses for ball 3. Six hits already for the Bees in this game. They had 4 in the first. A couple of home runs here in the third. Jerka's 3-1 is hit hard on the ground, but right at the shortstop. Fleming over to first. The inning is over. Good composure, at least from Jerka. He did give up the 2 home runs, but he was able to calm down and get the next 3 out. St. Ambrose builds their lead up, though, as we head to the bottom of the third. They're on top 5-1. Bottom of the third inning, top of the order for St. Francis. Martinez, Vickers, and Maliska will get their second look at Frank Quinn. Quinn gave up hits to 4 of the first 5 batters, but he got out of the first inning, getting a double play to erase a bases loaded jam, then set him down in order in the second. Trying to make it 5 straight retired. He gets Martinez to look at strike 1. Martinez led off the game for the Saints in the bottom of the first inning with an infield single, a high hopper off of home plate. The 0-1 pitch, fouled back, 0-2. Those first 5 batters for the Saints, 4 of them singled. The only one who was retired was Cliff Vickers on a sacrifice bunt. So for the first half of the batting order, half plus, 5 out of 9, 56%. Everybody who tried to get a hit got one. Same is not true the second time through the order. Martinez tries to make contact but can't, chasing one downstairs for strike 3. Cliff Vickers dropped down that sacrifice bunt that I was just talking about in the first inning. No official at bat for him. He hits for the second time, this time with 1 out, nobody on. Ball 1 outside. Strike called over the outside corner. Quinn evens it up, 1-1. Struck out Martinez on 3 pitches to begin the inning. That was his first strikeout of the game. He had 8 strikeouts in 14 innings coming in. So he gets Vickers to chase one down low, 1-2. So it's not really his forte. He pitches to contact. One-two pitch. Lined hard but right at the second baseman. Noah McCreary barely had to move his feet as he makes the catch for the second out of the inning. Tough luck that time for Cliff Vickers. Was probably his most solid swing of the day, but it nets him nothing. 6 in a row set down by Quinn, and the batter is Nate Maliska. Maliska's 1 for 1 with a base hit. Left-handed bat swings and lifts it into left field towards the line. Long run for McFarland. He dives and can't come up with it. The ball rolls all the way to the wall down in the corner. Maliska heads to third base. He loses his helmet as he slides in safely with a 2-out triple. You can't fault McFarland for the effort. But as he missed on that dive, he played what might have been a single into a triple. It looked like he had a good read on that ball, got a good jump on it. There certainly appeared to be a decent chance that he would make the catch on that dive, but he came up just a little bit short. There's Jake Klepash. Big swing, no contact, 0-1. Klepash singled in the first inning. He's 1 for 1. Ball outside. The count is even. Brief delay as he steps out to tie his shoe. Now he's ready to go. 4-run lead for St. Ambrose. Saints trying to chip away. They've got a man at third, but there are 2 outs in the inning. Klepash hits it a mile high out to shallow right field. McCreary goes back. Zatera comes in. Neither one can reach it. It drops in for a base hit. Maliska scores, and it's a 5-2 game. Probably should have been the 3rd out of the inning. I don't think Zatera got a good look at it. It was shallow. So Zatera had a long way to come, but it was in the air for so long, I think he could have gotten there if he read it cleanly off the bat. And it looked like with the sun poking through the clouds, Noah McCreary didn't really get a good look at it either. Strike 1 called on Drew Dant. Chirping from The Saints dug out after that call, but it is 0-1 on their star hitter. Dant has 4 hits and 4 RBIs so far in the doubleheader. Runner on the move. Hard grounder through the hole on the right side. A base hit for Dant. Klepash heads to third. Wasn't a designed hit and run, but it worked out just like one. With the runner going, Dant hit it right through the hole that was left by the second baseman McCreary, who was going to cover the bag. And Klepash is able to advance to third base. So they're at the corners with 2 outs. 3 straight 2-out hits after it looked like Quinn was on his way to a perfect inning. Dant has 5 hits now in the doubleheader. And the batter is Jake Murda, trying to cut into this lead even further. That's 7 hits already for the Saints in this game. They only had 8 in game 1. And they scored 10 runs in that game. It's been a different style of ball game so far. Jake Murda grounded into a double play to end the first inning. He takes a ball, or strike rather, over the outside corner here, and the at-bat comes to an abrupt close as Drew Dant is gunned down, trying to steal second base. That's the 3rd base stealer that Garrett Latos has thrown out in this doubleheader. And a productive 3rd inning comes to a close for the Saints. They get 1 run on 3 straight 2-out hits. As we head to the 4th, it's a 3-run game. St. Ambrose 5, St. Francis 2. Into the 4th inning, 5-2, St. Ambrose has the lead. For all the offense that we've seen so far in this game, it's moving at a much brisker pace than the first one did. Took us over 2 hours to get through the first 5 innings in that game. Bryce Vincent digs in and takes strike 1. That's because in this game, all the offense has come from swinging the bats. Ball 1 to even the count. Neither pitcher has walked anybody yet. I know I just jinxed it by saying so, but we have seen 13 hits through 3 innings. That ball is popped down the right field line into foul ground. Meliska gives it a run. That's out of play. 1-2 on Vincent. Bryce Vincent grounded out to the shortstop to end the first inning. He's 0 for 1. 1 for 5 with an RBI in the twin bill. It's just been nonstop action in this game, except for the second. I guess it did stop in the second inning. Just off the outside corner, ball 2. Count is even. Jerka sets for the next toss. That's roped up the middle, a base hit for Vincent. Leadoff single for the Bees. They've got a man aboard for the first time since the first inning. They scored 2 runs in the 3rd, but didn't have anybody aboard. McCreary and Weber just rounded all the bases quickly on their back-to-back home runs. the first time that Jerka has had to pitch with a runner on since inning 1. Chris McFarland is the batter. Ball 1 low on him. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout. McFarland's getting his 7th start of the year. He's a .250 hitter at the start of play, at least. Down slightly following his 2nd inning flyout today. Ball low, 2-0. Both teams had a ton of action in the first inning. Both teams had a lot going on in the 3rd. But in the 2nd inning, 6 up, 6 down. 3-0 on McFarland with Vincent at first base and nobody out. Got the feel of a game that is going to see a lot of runs put on the board. We already saw one of those today, 10-9, the final score in game 1. St. Ambrose has a 3-run lead early here, but it surely doesn't feel safe as McFarland takes a strike. 3-1. Pickoff throw to first. Not in time. At the top of the 4th inning in game 1, they had a 9-2 lead that they were not able to hold, which certainly contributes to the fact that this lead doesn't feel completely safe, but it's also been the way this game has gone so far. McFarland's foul ball makes the count full. Both teams have had base runners galore. So it certainly doesn't feel like St. Ambrose is going to stop at 5 runs. But neither do you get the impression watching this game that St. Francis isn't capable of putting up a crooked number or 2. Fly ball into right field. That's playable. Klepash backs up, makes the catch, 1 away. Bryce Vincent is back to first base. And the number 9 hitter, catcher Garrett Latos, comes up. Regardless of what he does at the plate, Latos has had a big impact on this doubleheader in the field. He's thrown out 3 attempting base stealers in the game. He takes ball 1 outside. Entering play today, Latos had caught a 3rd of base stealers on the season. Foul ball evens up the count. He had caught 4 out of 12. In one of the cases today, it was a runner who thought he was advancing on a wild pitch, but didn't actually get far enough away from the catcher who gunned him down. Strike called, 1-2. The other 2 were straight steal attempts. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. 3-run lead for St. Ambrose. Both teams have 7 hits, but the Bees have been a little bit more powerful. 4 of their 7 have gone for extra bases, including 2 home runs. For St. Francis, 6 of their 7 have been singles, with 1 triple thrown in there as well. 3-2 pitch coming. Swung on and lifted out to left field. Foul. Towards the seating area. It stays in play, but it drops. Drew Dant unable to make the catch. I believe that Dant, like I, probably thought that that ball was going into the seats. And the wind pushed it back onto the field. And he slightly over pursued. It dropped a little bit behind him. So the at-bat continues. So it's been a long 4th inning, 3 straight. Lengthy battles between pitcher and hitter. This is the second 3-2 to Latos. And he'll see a 3rd as well. Top of the order due up. Jake Muha stands on deck. Latos trying to give him a chance with 2 runners on. Runner goes. The pitch is taken for ball 4. Latos fouled off a couple of 2-strike pitches, and finally Jake Jerka gave in. He issues his first walk of the game, his 4th this season in 11 1/3 innings pitched. And that brings up Jake Muha, who has struggled at the plate so far today with an 0 for 6 on the stat line between the two games. But Muha bats here with runners at first and second, only one down. Jalen Avery at first base. He comes on as the courtesy runner for the catcher, Latos. Muha takes ball one outside. He's grounded out twice in this game. A third one could end the inning. Ball low. 2-0. Next one from Jerka, misses for ball 3. His control has been pretty solid through 3 innings. Here in the 4th, he's walked 1 and now gone to 3-0 on the next hitter. Muha takes ball 4 low. Second time he's walked in the doubleheader, and it loads the bases with only 1 down. St. Francis was in this situation in the first inning. Bases loaded, 1 out. Frank Quinn of St. Ambrose was able to get out of it. We'll see if Jerka can do the same thing here. I've been talking about the prolific offenses that we've seen in this doubleheader, and the idea that even if St. Ambrose tacks on a few more runs, it's not game over with 6 innings of offense still to come for St. Francis, but you don't want to toy with fate too much. 3-run deficit early is bad enough. You don't want it to balloon into 5, 6, 7 runs. So it really is imperative for Jerka to settle in here and hold St. Ambrose down. Maybe he can get away with allowing just the 1 run this inning, but anything more than that, the team's in trouble. Meeting on the mound is over. Already 23 pitches thrown this inning by Jerka. Only 10 of them have been strikes. Back-to-back walks have loaded the bags for one of the most dangerous hitters on the team, Noah McCreary. 2 for 2 with a homer. He's got 2 homers in the doubleheader. McCreary takes the first pitch strike. Looking to break the game wide open in the top of the 4th. He drives it out to deep right field down the line, and it's a fair ball in the corner. It hits off the wall. 2 runs score easily. Or did that hit the foul pole? Excuse me. That is a grand slam for Noah McCreary, his 3rd home run of the game. I thought it hit high off the fence. It actually hit low off the foul pole and ricocheted back onto the field. So a home run for McCreary. 4 runs score easily. Deja vu. St. Ambrose leads 9-2 in the 4th. They've done it in some ways similarly to the way they did it in the first game, with Noah McCreary hitting home runs. But a lot more hits overall for the Bees in this one as Brock Weber flies it into left. A routine play for for Kernbauer, who makes the grab. 2 down. So McCreary now has 3 hits and 5 RBIs in this game. He had 2 hits and 2 RBIs in game 1. Between the 2 games combined, he has scored 6 runs. Fouled away for strike 1 on Brandon Matias. Grand slam off the foul pole. If that had been just another foot to the right, this could be a very different looking game right now as Matias takes a strike. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Matias is the 3rd strikeout victim of Jacob Jerka today, but Jerka sees 4 more runs get put on the board on 2 hits and 2 walks. A grand slam from Noah McCreary Makes it 9-2 St. Ambrose as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Leading off the St. Francis fourth inning, ticket number 22, Turda.
9-2 St. Ambrose. They have opened up a big lead. This was the exact score at this exact stage of game one. St. Francis came up to bat in the bottom of the fourth, trailing by 7, and they ended up scoring the final 8 runs of that game and coming away with a win. See if they've got it in them again as Jake Murda swings the first pitch and lines it right at the second baseman McCreary for the first out. Good start to the inning for Frank Quinn. 1 pitch, 1 out. Here's John McGuire. McGuire flew to right his first time up. Saints do have 7 hits in this game. McGuire swings and misses, strike 1. They've come in bunches. 4 out of 5 batters got a hit to begin the game for them, and then in the third with 2 outs and nobody on, they mounted a little run-scoring rally with 3 straight 2-out hits. McGuire pops it up right side, foul, in front of the St. Francis dugout. It's out of play as Brock Weber, the first baseman, gives up on it. 0-2. Quinn looking to make quick work of McGuire here. And he does. Strike him out swinging. 2 down in the fourth. That's the second strikeout for Quinn. Not an overpowering pitcher. He's kind of a finesse guy, which you don't often see out of a body like his. 6'7" tall. You're kind of conditioned, I think, or at least I am, to see a 6'7" tall right-handed pitcher on the mound. To expect to see him blowing fastballs by everybody. Ball outside, 1-0 on Ethan Fleming. Doesn't always work that way at this level. There's not too many pitchers in the CCAC who are blowing 95 miles per hour fastballs past anybody. Grounder right side, backhanded stop McCreary. Double clutch, the throw to first is bounced in, but a nice scoop by Brock Weber. And the inning is over. So Frank Quinn responds to his offense's 4-run inning by putting a 0 on the board. Good work by him. We'll go to the 5th with 5 innings to play. It's St. Ambrose 9, St. Francis 2. 9-2 St. Ambrose in the top of the 5th inning. A new pitcher is in for the Fighting Saints. Mac Malshevsky makes his first relief appearance of the season. In 3 starts, he's 0-2 with an 18.29 ERA. 10 1/3 innings, he's allowed 22 runs, 21 of them earned on 23 hits, with 9 strikeouts and 7 walks. His first pitch to Joey Fitzgerald is taken for ball 1. Clock has struck 5 here in the Central Time Zone, and the lights have gone on at Dooley Health and Care Field. Fouled off to the right side, 1-1 on Fitzgerald. Malshevsky replaces Jacob Jerka. Jerka went 4 innings, allowing 9 runs, all of them earned. There was an error in the first inning that contributed to a run, but the way the rest of that inning played out, it did become earned. So all 9 runs are earned. On 8 hits, he walked 2. Grounded to the right side, sliding stop in the hole by the second baseman Alex Martinez. Throw to first is in time. Great play by Alex Martinez. But he was not able to get the out. Sorry, misread that call. Fitzgerald is safe at first base, an infield hit. Still a great play by Martinez. Great effort to get to that ball. Make a tough throw over to first base. But it is the 9th hit of the game for St. Ambrose. I can't see anything today. I can't see the ball hit the foul pole. Can't see the umpire. Honestly, I've had a tough time seeing the umpires all game. As Zatera stands in and takes ball 1 low and outside. This is not anything unique to today. A lot of teams wear these color uniforms, but when I look for the umpire sometimes at first base, I see St. Ambrose wearing those dark jerseys. And it takes my brain a second to actually reconcile who is who. It says a lot more about me than about anything else. 1-0 to Adrian Zatera misses. 2 balls and no strikes. The rest of the line on Jerka, 4 innings, 9 runs, all earned, 8 hits, 2 walks. He struck out 3. 2 walks is not a bad number, but the fact that they came back-to-back right before a home run is what really killed him. Part of that 4-run 4th inning. St. Ambrose has hit the ball hard today. Another pickoff attempt to first base. Not in time. Got Fitzgerald, who's on base after an infield single. A little shaken up after running down the line. He had to shake out that leg. Ground ball up the middle, and it finds its way into center field. Base hit for Adrian Zatera, his first hit of the game, 4th of the doubleheader. Fitzgerald up to second base, 2 on, nobody out in the 5th. So 10 hits in the game now for St. Ambrose. And as I was saying a moment ago, they've hit the ball hard. 10 hits is a lot, but even more for them. 5 of those 10 have gone for extra bases, a double, a triple, and 3 home runs. So they're not just dinking and dunking their way around the field. They're slugging the ball today. Bryce Vincent is 1 for 2 with a single. Vincent takes a strike. Vincent is a transfer from Concordia University, Chicago, from Chicago's north suburbs. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. Kernbauer goes back on it. He's at the track. He is not able to make the catch. Just in front of the wall, he had room, but it hits off his glove and drops in there. Everybody advances, and the bases are loaded. That was certainly hit hard enough to leave the yard. It was in the air so long, though. It's so high. The wind kind of took over and pushed it into the alley. The wind kind of robbed Vincent of a home run there, but because it stayed in play, it was playable for Kernbauer. And it hit right off his glove. E7 allows Vincent to reach base. Zatera up to second. Fitzgerald to third, and the batter is Chris McFarland, who takes ball 1. Second error of the ball game on St. Francis. They bring the infield in. McFarland is 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. This time a line drive and straight out to center field. A base hit for McFarland. Fitzgerald scores. Zatera comes in as well. Vincent heads to third base. McFarland stops at first. A 2-run single. Puts runners at the corners and makes it a 9-run lead for St. Ambrose, 11-2 in the top of the fifth. For Chris McFarland, RBIs number 8 and 9 this year. And Garrett Latos, the catcher, comes up. Latos is 0 for 1 with a walk. First pitch to him from Malshevsky is taken for strike one. It's the first relief appearance this year for Mac Malshevsky. Typically a starter. He had some really fine ball games as a starter last season for St. Francis. So far, it hasn't been the same this year. Ball one low and away, although that's really not that different from the way last season started. He got better as the year progressed. But he hasn't been able to find himself yet this year. Brian Mahalik hoping that he's able to turn his season around today in relief, but so far it hasn't looked good. Strike called on Latos, 1-2. Nobody out here in the top of the fifth inning. Granted, there was an error in there, but that came on one of the harder hit balls of the inning. Everybody's swung the bat pretty effectively here in the fifth as Latos takes a ball in the dirt, 2-2. Good block by Jake Murda. Last 3 games, St. Francis has allowed 36 runs to score against them. 2-2. Latos takes a ball in the dirt. This time Murda's not able to stop it. Run comes in to score. The other one advances to second base. 3-2 on Latos as the wild pitch makes it 12-2. McFarland up to second. Bryce Vincent came in to score on the wild pitch. 3-2. Latos takes ball 4 inside. That'll bring on Avery as the courtesy runner over at first. And we're back to the top of the order and Jake Muha. 0 for 2 with a walk and a run. That's now 37 runs scored against St. Francis in their last 3 games. Muha takes ball 1. And quite honestly, all those runs haven't contributed too much to results. They're 1-1 during that 3-game stretch, with this one obviously ongoing. Ball outside, 2-0 on Muha. The game they lost to St. Xavier on Tuesday was 16-1, so even though it's unsightly to see 16 in the runs column for the visitors, St. Xavier could have scored 2 or 3 runs in that game. It would have been the same result. So all those runs didn't really actually matter in the end. Strike over the outside corner, 2-1. Other than the fact, I guess, that because it was a 15-run game, it ended after 7 instead of 9. So much the better for St. Francis, able to save a couple of innings of bullpen work. Ball outside on Muha, 3-1. Still nobody out this inning. 3 runs are in. 2 men are on base. 10-run lead for St. Ambrose. Top of the 5th inning. A hitter's count on Muha here. Big cut. Can't connect. It's 3-2. Avery at first, McFarland at second. Good speed in both locations. Payoff pitch outside. Second walk in a row issued by Malshevsky. Saints pitching has issued 4 walks in this game, and all 4 of them have come to Latos and Muha, back-to-back in the 4th and back-to-back here in the 5th. Both times it loaded the bases. don't want to run through any more similarities because last time it resulted in a Noah McCreary grand slam. Guess who's coming up now with the bases full for the second consecutive inning? Quick meeting on the mound. It's just Brian Mahalik and Mac Malshevsky right now. No catcher, no pitching coach, no infielders. Just a one-on-one conversation as McCreary steps in for the fourth time, having a monster day at the plate. 3 for 3, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, 3 runs scored. He's crossed the plate 6 times in the first 11 innings of today's doubleheader. If you score once every 2 games over the course of a season, you're going to put up a pretty good runs count overall. He has scored once every 2 innings so far today. Actually, a little bit better than that. Good luck keeping that pace up all year. McCreary swings the first pitch, chops it foul past first base, strike 1. 12 runs, 10 hits, no errors for St. Ambrose, 2-8-2 for St. Francis. And if they do end up falling in this one in a blowout, as they did on Tuesday against St. Xavier, the bright side you can look at is still you win one, you lose one. It really doesn't matter what the scores are. Strike called 0-2. If you go 1-1 in a day and your win came by 1 or 2 runs and the loss came by 12 or 14, what's the difference? You're 1-1. McCreary strikes out swinging, chased one in the dirt. A big first out recorded by Malshevsky. Base is still full, but it's a little bit less dangerous now, just a touch. Double play now would get the Saints out of the inning. Brock Weber, though, has had a pretty big day as well. He homered earlier. 2 for 3 in this game. Didn't have a hit in game 1, but he reached base 3 times and drove in a run. Ball 1 outside and off the glove of Murda. Another run scores. Not only is it now 13-2, but we're not talking about double plays anymore, as everybody advances. Muha to second. Latos, or rather Avery, the courtesy runner to third. McFarland's the man who crossed home plate. 1-0 on Brock Weber. Weber knocks that into left field. Another base hit. This will score 2. Weber adds to his RBI total as he hurries into second base and makes it in with a stand-up double. It's a 6-run inning for St. Ambrose. They lead this ball game 15-2. It's amazing, through 3.5 innings, these 2 games were identical. 9-2 St. Ambrose leads. From that point forward, they've gone in decidedly different directions. First pitch swinging, Matias hits it hard out to left field. That's a base hit. Weber is held at third base. So they're at the corners. Still only 1 out. And Fitzgerald will bat for the second time this inning. Matias has his second hit of the contest. And now Fitzgerald, 2 for 3 in the game. He led off this inning with an infield single and later came in to score on Chris McFarland's base hit. Ball 1 outside on Fitzgerald. Malshevsky throws to first. Matias gets back in safely. 13-run game. I'm not sure St. Ambrose will be looking to run here, but you never know. It is still relatively early as that ball is launched to deep right field, and that is a goner for Joey Fitzgerald. 3-run homer. It's a 16-run game. It just got a lot later. Just moments ago, I said it's still relatively early in the game. with each passing pitch, this game is starting to feel more and more like a 7-inning contest. We're in the 5th right now. That'll do it for Mac Malshevsky. Hasn't had it yet this season as a starter. The relief appearance hasn't helped matters. 9 runs allowed in just a third of an inning. And as he departs, I'll step aside. I'll tell you about the new pitcher in just a moment. 18-2, St. Ambrose leads in the top of the 5th. One out, base is empty in the top of the 5th. 9 runs are already in this inning for St. Ambrose. But a fresh start here for the new pitcher, Sean Mahalik. Will try to get out of the frame. Mahalik's on for the 5th time. No record, an ERA of 11.57. In 4 2/3 innings, he's allowed 15 runs, 6 of them earned on 13 hits, 2 walks, no strikeouts. Mahalik's first pitch misses low and away on Adrian Zatera, 1-0. Mahalik is a junior right-hander from New Lenox, Illinois, Lincoln Way Central High School. Fouled away by Zatera, 1-1. Mac Malshevsky lasted a third of an inning. Allowed 9 runs, 8 of them earned. There's a fly ball into right field. I don't think Klepash can see it. Now he does locate the ball, and he moves over to his left and makes the grab. So a late recovery from the right fielder makes the out. 2 away. And Bryce Vincent will try to keep this inning alive. 1 strikeout, 2 walks. 5 hits allowed by Mac Malshevsky in his 1/3 of an inning work today. A 2.16 ERA. 216, not 2.16. So he'll have his work cut out for him going forward to try to pull it back down. I mentioned it before. He got off to a rough start last year. Settled in, had some really good games as the season went on. So we'll see if that's the case again this year as Vincent shoots it out to center field. Sliding effort. And a nice catch made in center by Cliff Vickers. Good play to end the inning. And Mahalik comes in and retires the only 2 batters he faces. But 9 runs cross the plate for St. Ambrose in a big 5th inning. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 18-2, the visitors on top. Bottom five, the Fighting Saints have their work cut out for them. They trail 18-2. Josh Kernbauer will try to begin to chip away as he gets his first at bat here in the bottom of the fifth. Swings at the first pitch and chops it foul down the third base line. Kernbauer came in for the injured Brent Blytek in the second inning. Blytek came up lame after hustling down the first base line trying to leg out an infield hit. So Kernbauer's been playing left field ever since. He grounds it over to third. Backing up and playing it on the bounce is Fitzgerald. Throw to first in time for the first out. Tough break for Blytek having to leave the game early. Even with a 16-run deficit right now, you see a freshman out there getting his first collegiate start. It gives you something to get a little excited about. You know, Blytek knew he wasn't going to be a starter probably on day one. He hasn't been. He's been primarily used as a pinch runner in the early going this year, but he finally gets his first chance in the starting lineup. One at bat into the game, he's done for the day. Here's Alex Martinez taking strike one over the outside corner. Frank Quinn on the mound for St. Ambrose. We've barely seen him. He's thrown only 49 pitches through 4 1/3 innings. Hard grounder, but right at the third baseman. Fitzgerald eats it up, throws to first, and Martinez is retired. He's had some quick innings, Frank Quinn. St. Ambrose at the plate has tended to have some long innings in this game. They've scored multiple runs in 4 of their 5 trips to the plate. We don't really track time of possession in baseball, mostly because there's no such thing as possession in baseball. Cliff Vickers swings and misses for strike one. I guess Frank Quinn currently possesses the ball, but it's not a stat. The 0-1 to Vickers. Hit hard and deep out to right center field into the gap. It drops in for a base hit. Cut off by Zatera. He holds Vickers to just one base, but it's a 2-out single.
First baseman number 31.
Vickers is aboard for the first time in the game. 2-out base hit, snaps a string of 5 straight retired. Here's Nate Meliska. If we were to calculate just the percentage of the game that Frank Quinn has been on the mound compared to St. Francis pitchers, I would guess that Quinn has been out there for less than 30%. Ball inside, 1-0 on Meliska. Meliska's 2 for 2 with a single, a triple, and a run scored. Saints were able to get a 2-out rally going in the third. 3 straight 2-out hits led to a run. See if they can string together some 2-out safeties here as well. There's 2 in a row as Meliska grounds it up the middle, his 3rd hit of the game. Vickers advances to second. 2 aboard, 2 outs. The batter is Jake Klepash. Klepash is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and an RBI. Foul tips the first pitch here, strike one. Top of the order has done some good work in this game offensively for St. Francis. The first 5 hitters, Martinez, Vickers, Meliska, Klepash, and Dant. Three, 4, and 5 in particular, Meliska, Klepash, and Dant have gone a combined 7 for 7 in the game. The 0-1, swung on and missed, 0-2. Quinn's been able to limit the damage because 6 through 9 in the batting order have gone a combined 0 for 8. The first 5 are 9 for 12. Yeah, 9 for 12. The first 5 overall, 3 through 5 against 7 for 7. Pash takes a ball low and in, 1-2. Brian Mihalik's, I think, campaigning to send Klepash down to first base here. I think he thought that ball hit him on the foot, and the umpires will get together and determine, at least in their estimation, whether or not that did occur. And they say it did. So hit by pitch, loads the bases. Middle of the order stays perfect for the Saints. Not quite the middle, but close to it, 3, 4, and 5. Lepash is aboard for the third straight time. And for the second time today, the Saints have put together 3 consecutive base runners with 2 outs. And now it's Drew Dant, who's had a huge day at the plate. 5 hits in the doubleheader. He's 2 for 2 in this game. He chops the first pitch down the third base line. That rolls foul, strike 1. The Saints erased a big lead in the first game. They trailed 9-2, came back and picked up a victory. I don't know if that's in the cards here. This wouldn't just be a noteworthy comeback the way that game 1 was. This would be miraculous. Talking about overcoming a 16-run deficit, but still, they do have 10 hits in the game. They've got a chance to make this one a lot more interesting. The 0-1. Outside for a ball, 1-1. They've got 9 hits, I believe. Yeah, the scoreboard has them at 10. They do have 9. Lepash, who's at first after getting hit by the pitch, is their 10th total base runner. 1-1 is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Dant's been a thorn in the side of not only Frank Quinn, but every pitcher who's been out there today for St. Ambrose. Still, he doesn't want to nibble here with a 16-run lead. Dant lifts it into left field. McFarland comes in, puts it away, and ends the inning. Saints get a couple of 2-out hits. They leave them loaded. Don't score in the 5th. We'll go to inning number 6, 18-2, St. Ambrose.
2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners were left on base.
Sean Mahalik remains in the game for the Fighting Saints as we start the 6th inning. So he'll get his first full inning of work here, presuming he's able to make it all the way through. Mahalik will face McFarland, Latos, and Muha for St. Ambrose this inning. I do believe the Saints have made a few other defensive switches. Jack Salzeder is in at third base as Chris McFarland steps in and takes ball 1. McFarland's 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs. He fouls this one off his foot. Strike 1. Survey the rest of the diamond, see if I see anything else. That's Alex Milcars at second base. So at least 2 changes. Ball outside, 2-1. I believe those are the only 2. So Milcar's in for Martinez at second, and Salzeder is in at third for Drew Dant. McFarland hits it out to center field. Vickers got a little bit of a slow start, but is able to recover and make a nice catch, backpedaling in center for the first out. Sean Mahalik has retired all 3 batters that he's faced. He'll try to make it 4 in a row here, facing the catcher, Garrett Latos. First pitch is a called strike. Latos has walked in each of his last 2 at-bats. He hasn't scored because he always gets removed for a courtesy runner, but his runner, Avery, has scored twice. Line shot in the left center field as his first hit of the ball game. He looks content with 1 as Vickers gets the ball quickly back to the infield. A 1-out single. So he's on base for the 3rd time today, and for the 3rd time he departs. His courtesy runner all game has been Jalen Avery. Not this time, because Jalen Avery's got a bat in his hands. He's going to pinch hit for Jake Muha. So that means the pinch runner this time will be Tyrese Morgan. So Avery gets his first at bat of the day. Runner at first base, 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. 16-run lead for St. Ambrose, and Avery takes ball 1. Jalen Avery is a senior from Oswego, transferred from Oakton Community College. He's had a busy day on the base paths. Now at the plate, he flies one into shallow right center field. Coming on strong and making the catch is Jake Klepash, 1 away. Two away. It's the 2nd out of the inning as Tyrese Morgan remains at first base. And Mahalik will try to get out of the inning facing Noah McCreary. Easier said than done. McCreary struck out his last time up. Prior to that, he had homered twice. This time he flies it into shallow left. Kernbauer comes in, and he gives way to the shortstop, Ethan Fleming. Fleming makes the grab and retires the side. Nice work by Sean Mahalik. Gave up a 1-out single, but that was all. St. Ambrose leaves a man at first base as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Their lead is 18-2. Bottom six, 18-2 is our score. Saints have to start scoring in a hurry if they want not only to have any chance of the miracle comeback, but to even give themselves a chance for that chance. This game will end after 7 if they can't score at least 7 runs. Jake Murda leads off the bottom of the 6th inning. 0 for 2 in the game. Murda takes ball 1 inside from Frank Quinn. St. Ambrose starter still on the mound. He's pitched well. Hasn't been dominant by any means. Saints have had 10 base runners through 5 innings. But he's generally limited the damage. Murda flies it into center field. Avery chases it back, and it's over his head. Leadoff base hit for Jake Murda, who heads to second base and stands there safely with a double. Second extra base hit of the game for St. Francis. It's their 10th hit overall. And it'll bring up a pinch hitter for the DH, John McGuire. Will Calcaterra gets a chance to hit. Calcaterra is a backup catcher. Sophomore from Wisconsin. He's batting for the 8th time this year. He's 1 for 7. He takes strike 1 from Quinn. I was about to say, as far as the Saints are concerned, one of the reasons they have not had a big offensive game in terms of runs scored is when their hits have come. Typically later in the inning. So that double for Jake Murda to lead things off is a difference maker. Calcaterra taps it foul, 0-2. Entering this inning, they had 10 base runners through 5 innings. But 6 of those 10 had come with 2 outs. It's hard to put together a big inning when most of your offense is occurring with 2 outs. Consequently, they hadn't. Just 1 run in the first, 1 in the third. Ball in the dirt. It kicks off the glove of Latos, but Murda stays where he is. 1-2 on Calcaterra. That is Murda running for himself at second base, a rarity for the catcher. Quinn trying to put away Calcaterra, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He does put him away. His 3rd strikeout of the ball game. 1 away in the 6th. That brings up Ethan Fleming. Brian Mahalik has started to dip into his bench. He's made technically 4 replacements to the starting lineup. One of them was done earlier due to an injury, but with the score being a blowout right now, he's switched out 3 different players. Ethan Fleming takes ball 1. Calcaterra in for McGuire. Salzeder in for Dant, and Milkar's in for Martinez. But Ethan Fleming is not likely to be replaced because he's getting a rare chance to hit to begin with. Ball outside, 2-0. Fleming had not started a game in the field this year. He's been used as a pitcher exclusively until this one. Oh for 2 in the game with a flyout and a groundout. This is already his longest at bat today. 2-0 pitch is flailed at, 2-1. Murda doubled to lead off the inning. He's still at second base with 1 out, the 2-1 pitch. Fleming pops it up, shallow center field. Avery comes in. Zatera, the right fielder, calls him off in right center and makes the grab for the 2nd out of the inning. Here's Josh Kernbauer. Following the leadoff double, back-to-back outs recorded with no advancement of the runner. Kernbauer will try to knock him in with his first hit of the game. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. Came on defensively for Brent Blytek after the latter left with an injury. Ball in the dirt. This time Murda does advance. He's up to third base. Wild pitch makes it 1-0 on Josh Kernbauer. Wind still howling outside as Kernbauer awaits the next pitch from Quinn. He knocks it into left field, and it drops in front of McFarland, a base hit, and a run scores. An RBI two-out single for Kernbauer. That two-out offense keeps coming through for the Fighting Saints. That's 7 two-out base runners in the game. And this one results in Josh Kernbauer's first hit of the game, first RBI of the day as well. It's his second of the season. Here's Alex Milcars. He swings at the first pitch, chops it up the middle. Tough play for anybody to make, and no one can. Kernbauer heads to third base as the ball drips into no man's land, and he makes it in safely. Good heads-up base running by him. It's an infield hit for Alex Milcars. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. The batter will be not Cliff Vickers, it'll be Max Montgomery.
Your attention now, pitch hitting number 1, Max Montgomery.
Montgomery's another guy who's typically used more as a pinch runner than anything, although he does get occasional starts. He started 7 out of 15 games this year for the Saints, hitting .320 with 2 runs batted in. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. Milcars at first, Kernbauer at third. The pitch is taken for ball 2. Quinn sets. Here's the pitch. Inside for a ball, 3-0. On Max Montgomery. Nate Meliska's spot in the order is next. We've seen several pinch hitters lately, so I'm not sure if it'll be him. 3-0. Called strike. It's 3-1. It doesn't look like it will be Meliska. That's Singler standing on deck. No guarantee he'll get a chance this inning. Montgomery's got to reach first. 3-1 count. He bloops it into shallow left field. Montgomery is going to reach here, and he's going to knock home a run. Another 2-out hit. That's the 3rd time in this game that St. Francis has put together 3 consecutive 2-out base runners. Milcars advances from first to third on the play. 2 runs are in this inning for the Saints. They trail 18-4. And now it is Brant Singler in the batter's box. First pitch misses outside, ball 1. Singler came up as a pinch hitter in game 1. So this is his second at bat of the day. He takes a ball outside, 2-0. I don't know what happens to Frank Quinn when there are 2 outs in an inning. He's got a 14-run lead, but he's fallen behind every batter. 2-0 pitch. That's over the inside corner. It's 2-1. Malachi Riley is on deck. Singler swings and misses, 2-2. So assuming he comes into the game, Fleming and Murda will be the last 2 remaining starters out there for St. Francis. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 18-4 is our score. 2-2. Singler grounds it over to short. Played cleanly by Vincent, who carries it to the bag and ends the inning. 6 unassisted on the fielder's choice. The Saints again come up with 2 outs. 3 straight 2-out hits lead to 2 runs scoring. They leave 2. On our way to the 7th, St. Ambrose 18, St. Francis 4. In the top of the 7th inning, it's a healthy lead for St. Ambrose. Fighting Saints turn to their bullpen once again. Their 4th pitcher of the game is sophomore righty Zach Blazekovich. On for the 7th time, he has no record, 9.72 ERA. In 8 1/3 innings, he's allowed 14 runs, 9 of them earned on 18 hits, with 3 strikeouts and 2 walks. His first pitch misses inside for ball 1 on Brock Weber, who's got a single, a double, a homer, and 3 RBIs in this game. He takes a strike over the inside corner. Blazekovich relieves Sean Mahalik, who was far and away the most impressive Saints pitcher in this game. Ball inside, 2-1. Mahalik went 1 2/3 innings. He allowed only 1 base runner on a single. No walks, no strikeouts, no runs allowed. Ground ball right side of the infield. Charging is the second baseman Milkars, who flips over to first and gets the out. Alex Milkars showing his versatility. He started in left field in game 1. He's been at second base the last few innings of this one. 1 up, 1 down in the 7th. Here's Brandon Matias. Matias grounds the first pitch up the middle. Sliding effort from the shortstop Fleming. He knocks it down and keeps it on the infield, but can't make the play, and Matias is aboard with his 3rd hit of the game. An infield single. 1 on with 1 out. We'll bring up Joey Fitzgerald. Scratch that. Fitzgerald is replaced by Caden Thode. So Thode is the new 3rd baseman for St. Ambrose, and he takes strike 1. Thode is a 125 hitter this year, 3 for 24 at the plate. Not going to be able to make heads nor tails of my scorecard. The rest of the game, almost everybody has been replaced by a substitute. Just kind of the nature of the beast in a 14-run game. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Matias moved up to second base. Saints let him have it. Ball and away, 1-2. There was a balk called early in the at-bat. It's actually 1-1, sorry, not 1-2. That first pitch didn't count because of the balk. Now 2-1 the count. Well, if you're St. Francis, your pitching staff has given up 27 runs in 13 innings today. So you try to find silver lining somewhere, and they have had some really good performances from relievers. There's a swing and a miss from Thode, 2-2. In game 1, those good performances from the relievers bought them some time as the offense was able to come from behind and win the game. 2 scoreless innings from Luke Gunther. A perfect frame pitched by Ryan Daly. Ball high on Thode, 3-2. And then in this game, it was Sean Mahalik who looked really good in his inning and 2/3. Now Blazekovich trying to do the same. Fouled back, still 3-2. Payoff pitch coming. Blazekovich to Thode, with Zatera waiting on deck. Thode fouls it to the right side. That's out of play. There'll be a little extra rest for the pitching staff as the Saints and the Bees are limited to just 2 games this weekend in what was supposed to be back-to-back doubleheaders. The 2 games in the Quad Cities were pushed off because of weather. Strike 3 called. Thode takes one that he thought was ball 4. He dropped his bat, started making his way down to first base. I don't know for sure that an umpire would expand his strike zone in a situation like this, but I would think your general philosophy as a hitter in a 14-run game is you start swinging if anything's close. Easier said than done if you're Caden Thode, who just popped off the bench and was getting his first at bat of the day. He wanted a fair shake, and he got one, but again, anything close in a game like this, I think you're generally swinging. Runner at second, 2 outs. Blazakovic trying to put a 0 on the scoreboard. There have been 2 scoreless innings in this game. St. Ambrose was off the board in the second and the 6th. A lot of crooked numbers up there. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and then the big one. 9 runs scored in the 5th inning. Ground ball to short. Ethan Fleming has it cleanly. Throw to first is low, and Singler's able to dig it out. Nice work by him. Inning over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Onward to the bottom of the 7th inning. St. Ambrose leads by 14. Bottom 7, last chance for St. Francis if this score holds. This game will end after this inning. New pitcher for St. Ambrose, Carson Spellman, to face Malachi Riley, who swings and misses at the first pitch. Strike 1. Riley was in the on-deck circle to end last inning and came in defensively for the top of the 7th. The 0-1 is bounced foul down the third base line, 0-2. So this is his first at bat of the game. Riley this season, 1 for 4 at the plate, to go along with a couple of appearances as a pinch runner. Flip down the right field line. That ball drops fair just inside the foul line. Riley heads around first into second base, and for the second straight inning, the Fighting Saints have a leadoff double. For Malachi Riley, second hit of the season and the second extra base hit of the season. He's 2 for 5 at the plate this year. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jack Salzeder. He swings at the first pitch and fouls it away, strike 1. Not quite Jake, but close to it. I was talking earlier about the potential of bringing in 5 different Jakes into the game. We saw 3 of them, and now 1 Jack. Jack Salzeder has been playing third base the last few innings. This is his first at bat today. He grounds it to third base. Grabbed cleanly. The throw across the diamond is in time for the out. 1 away. Riley has to hold his position. Carson Spellman is the pitcher for St. Ambrose. He replaced Frank Quinn, who pitched the first 6 innings today. Quinn in line for his second victory of the year. The second appearance for Carson Spellman. No record, a 3 ERA in 3 innings in his first outing. He allowed 1 run on 2 hits and 2 walks, struck out all 3 of his outs. So that's the first out recorded actually by Spellman this year that wasn't on strikes. He faces Jake Murda. Murda takes a ball that gets away from the catcher and allows Riley to advance to third base. 1-0. Final numbers on Quinn today. He went 6 innings, allowed 13 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Didn't walk anybody, but he did hit 1 batter, and he struck out 3. Ball 2 on Murda. Murda's 1 for 3 with a double in this game. I talked about it during game 1. You flip your perspective a little bit, and it changes how effective a game looks. Those numbers I just read aren't going to jump off the page at anyone. 6 innings, 4 runs, 13 hits. It's a lot of hits. Ball outside, 3-0 to state the obvious. But he left with a 14-run lead, so that was an effective game. If your offense didn't score, you'd say that wasn't a real good game for your pitcher today. 3-0 is in the dirt. Excuse me, it was 2-1, so that's in the dirt, 3-1. I talked about it during the first game with the starting pitcher Jacob Bossi, who went 4 innings, walked 7, and gave up 4 runs, but his team had a big lead, so those numbers were okay. Ball inside, ball 4. First walk issued in this game by St. Ambrose, and they're at the corners with 1 out. Bossi ended up coming out for the 5th, fell apart. In the end, St. Francis won the game, and turned out it wasn't such a good game for the starting pitcher. St. starter Jake Jerka is in line for the loss today. Jerka gave up the first 9 runs. Ball low and away, 1-0 on Will Calcaterra. Calcaterra struck out in his first at-bat, pinch hitting for DH John McGuire last inning. So he's locked into the DH spot the rest of the way. The 1-0 is flown out to left field, down the line, long run, McFarland. He makes the running grab. Nice play by McFarland as Riley charges in from third base and scores a sacrifice fly for Calcaterra. And the score is 18-5. Ethan Fleming is the last hope for the Fighting Saints. Saints have been out hit just 16-14. But 3 of those hits for St. Ambrose have left the yard. One of them was a grand slam. That's the biggest difference today as Fleming takes strike 1. 4 walks issued by St. Francis pitching have been a big difference as well because all 4 of those walks eventually came around to score. The 0-1. Line drive out to center field. A base hit for Ethan Fleming. He's got his first hit of the day. Murda advances to second base. 2 on, 2 out. And Josh Kernbauer will get his third at bat. How about that 2-out hitting from St. Francis today? It's been incredible. They've got 15 hits now in the game. 9 of the 15 have come with 2 outs. That ball goes between the legs of the catcher, Garrett Latos, and the runners advance. Fleming up to second, Murda to third. 1-0 on Kernbauer. Kernbauer trying to keep this game alive. 1-0 pitch. Popped up down the right field line. It's foul and out of play. 1-1. Next pitch is popped up in fair territory on the right side. Coming in is Zatera. He makes the catch, and St. Ambrose has themselves an 18-5 victory. Game comes to a close a little bit early with the big lead for the Fighting Bees. And this turns into a doubleheader split. The Saints take the opener 10-9. St. Ambrose takes game 2 by an 18-5 final score. So a tough day at the office for the Fighting Saints in this second game, but as I said earlier, it might sting a little bit to lose by 13 like this, but you go 1-1 in the doubleheader. It doesn't really matter what the final scores are. It doesn't matter that you were outscored by 12 runs total. Each side got one victory in this one, and the Saints turned their record to 2-2 in conference play. For St. Ambrose, this was a big one. It was their first conference victory after 3 straight really tough-to-take losses. 3 straight one-run losses. 2 of them were walk-offs. And this time they're able to come up with a victory against the Fighting Saints, and they do so dominantly. We'll go back over the scoring in this one. St. Ambrose got 3 in the first inning. RBI hits from Matthias and Fitzgerald, and they led the rest of the way. The Saints did get 1 back. 4 hits for them in the first inning. They put 1 run in, I should say, and then they loaded the bases with 1 out, but a double play got Frank Quinn out of that inning, and this game was never really close after that. St. Ambrose added 2 more runs in the third on back-to-back homers for McCreary and Weber. Saints got an RBI single from Jake Klepash in the bottom of the third to make it 5-2, and then the Fighting Bees pulled away on a grand slam from Noah McCreary in the fourth that made it 9-2. They scored 9 runs, sending 12 men to the plate in the fifth inning. The big hits in that one: a 2-run single for Chris McFarland, a 2-run double for Brock Weber, and a 3-run homer for Joey Fitzgerald. Saints scored the final 3 runs of this game, getting 2 in the 6th thanks to an RBI single from Josh Kernbauer, and then 1 in the 7th on the sac fly from Will Calcaterra. Obviously not nearly enough as it comes to a close with an 18-5 final score. Our totals in this one: for St. Ambrose, 18 runs, 16 hits, no errors. For St. Francis, 5 runs, 15 hits, 2 errors. The winning pitcher is Frank Quinn, who improves to 2-1 on the season. The losing pitcher is Jake Jerka, who falls to 0-2 this year. The loss for the Fighting Saints drops them to 3-11, or 4-11, I should say, 2-2 in conference play. St. Ambrose goes to 7-9. They are 1-3 against CCAC opposition so far this year. Next one up for St. Francis. They're on the road at Lewis University on Wednesday for a non-conference game, and then back to conference play next Friday. They'll take on Calumet St. Joe's. That'll do it for this broadcast. A doubleheader split. The Saints take the opener 10-9. Game 2 goes to St. Ambrose. The final score is 18-5. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from Dooley Health and Care Field in Joliet, Illinois. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.